The captain is dead, everybody. All hands prepare to engage. So today, in today's 10-minute board game review on Paint Games and Cardboard, I'm going to review The Captain is Dead. This is a very interesting game my girlfriend decided to pick up, and as the way she puts it, it's like the last 10 minutes of any Star Trek TV show. So if that sounds interesting to you, well, stay tuned and let's dive on into this little box. So welcome, your captain is dead, and this is where we're left on the starship. So in The Captain is Dead, your main goal here is to engage your jump core. So you need to move this little thing all the way up to engage, and you win the game. Seems easy enough, right? Well, along the way, there's going to be all sorts of things that are trying to get in your way and stop you from doing that, and here's the review about this. So we'll start down here. So in the game, you have different types of characters. So there's different colors that match the bases, and there's different types of character models. And each character is a specialist in some way, shape, or form. As an example, your yellow ones are good at fighting stuff, so like the soldier, whereas your orange ones are very good at repairing things. These are the engineer cards. But you also have stuff like the janitor. This one's a diplomat, which is one of the medical fields. You have a cyborg that's part of your green, so on and so forth. There's actually multiple different characters in each different type, and each has their own special ability. At the beginning of the game, how we do it anyway is that we shuffle up the bag of bases, one of each color, and then we let people pick, and then that's your random pick, right? And so those are your different characters. Now, each character has a different hand size limit, and then each character, this is the turn order that they're in, and this is how many actions that they can perform. On your turn, you have different actions you can do, so you can move up to 2 spaces, you can kill an alien for 1 action, carry another player 1 space, which can sometimes be pretty important, give a skill or a tool to another player, or take a skill or tool from another player with their permission. So you can ask around the table to give stuff. This is a cooperative game, so everybody is trying to fix the ship and get out of Dodge. You also have skill discounts here on the right-hand side, which can be very important as you go around the board. Now, for the board itself, it is a spaceship. And so you have different areas like the infirmary, the science lab, the armory, and then these all do different things as shown around the board. Now, one of the hang-ups with the game as you go along is that as we pull these are the alert cards, different stuff's going to happen to the ship. As an example, this one right here takes our comm system offline, which means that we would flip the comm system to its broken side, and no longer can, this actually allows you to trade or give skills to anyone, anywhere on the board, which is really, really good, right? Well, with this deactivated now, it's offline, you now have to move to the space with the other player to actually trade skills and cards, which are right here, and I'll explain those here in a second, which can be a big hang-up, right? Because now we're wasting action economy to get to other areas of the ship to do other things, whereas I could have just been here with the comms online and just traded cards. Then you have other stuff, like the teleporter allows you to teleport around the ship without actually having to move. So normally you can only move 2 spaces, but the teleporter literally just lets you teleport across the ship or teleport another player across the ship if they allow you to do that, which is very, very key. We have the cargo hold. This will have cards that you can actually pick from, and these are like pre-selected cards, which can come in handy. We've got the internal scanners, which will show us the top or 3 cards from the deck, and then whenever we go to the computer, we can draw these cards. These cards are essential to winning the game. The computer, while this is online, you can draw skills. However, if it goes offline for any reason, all of a sudden you cannot get skill cards, which means you cannot win the game without skill cards. You've got the captain's quarters, where you can draw these battle plans. These are very powerful cards. External scanners will show you the top 2 cards of the alert deck. And so these are upcoming events. One of these will trigger at the end of every player's turn. These are anomalies, which are like ongoing effects that you can only get rid of with 4 science cards and 1 action, and that's research down here at the science lab. And these can be very, very detrimental. This one actually slows everybody to 1 space instead of 2 space movement, as long as you're not teleporting. And then some of them will actually do damage to your shields right here. But with the external scanners offline, we wouldn't be able to see these. Technically, these would be gone, and then now we're just kind of flying by the cuff to see what actually ends up happening. And last but not least, we have the comm systems. I already explained that. And then we have the torpedoes, where you can actually shoot down ships because there'll be alien ships attacking you. I think the next one was actually an alien ship like this one that increases the amount of damage that you take by 10% per attack, which is pretty detrimental. You lose the game if you lose all of your shields, or if for any reason all of these aliens are put on the board anywhere and we run out and we can't place anymore, then we would lose the game, as an example. I believe there's like 16 of these or something like that. And then last but not least, you have these skill cards. You'll get them throughout the game. But what you need to do in order to activate anything on the ship, each ability has a requirement for actions and then a requirement for cards. So as an example, I can activate the security station using a red card and one action. However, with these discounts, that discounts whatever the ability is. So in this case, the soldier can just go here and do this for an action as opposed to needing any skill cards. And so, yeah, skill cards are very important. Obviously, you need a lot of orange cards to actually fix your jump core. You get your jump core to engage, you win the game. Seems pretty simple, right? But as this deck goes down, the alert deck, the game gets progressively harder and harder and harder. And then as there are more players around the table, well, as you can see, it might take you a minute to get back to your turn. And, you know, certain characters have very critical skills that your team needs in order to win. The captain is dead. So, what are my thoughts of this game? Let's head to the outro. So, the captain definitely died in this game. My thoughts of this game. It is hard. It is incredibly, incredibly hard. I think we've played this game at least 5-6 times now. And certain characters make the game kind of a breeze at lower player counts, and then certain it almost feels like they're required at lower player counts, right? And the more players you add, the harder this game ends up getting in some ways. The main reason being that it takes so long to get around the table that sometimes when you're trying to do stuff, the things that are happening to the ship just get so extreme and out of hand that it becomes very hard. And this is definitely one of those games that increases your blood pressure and your stress level quite a bit. So that is probably my biggest hang up with this game. If you do not enjoy difficult games, or you do not enjoy games that you put like an hour and a half into and then suddenly you just get your ass kicked, probably not for you. However, I do enjoy the general gameplay loop of this game. I feel like there's always something to do, and it always feels like you don't have enough time to do all of the things that you want. So this game's like all about prioritization. Like, where do I prioritize my character going? What does my character specialize in? A tip in the book, it says, is try to like basically camp out in a part of the ship and just kind of that's your area, right? And it's very true, right? All of the characters are good in one way, shape, or form. We have, in our amount of plays, realize which characters are definitely the better ones and who you're kind of hoping are on your team. As an example, the soldier, who can just kill all the aliens in a single action, is very, very good, because, you know, one of the lose conditions is you run out of aliens, and we've done that before. So but yeah, overall, I would give this game like a middle of the ground grade. It's heavy, I'd say mid-heavy, but due to the difficulty, it's definitely not for everyone. It's definitely not for all groups. I do like the fact that it goes up to 7 players, but I will say that it plays better at lower player counts. 4 to 5, I would say, is probably optimal. Any higher than that, it's going to get even harder, right? And it does provide different difficulty levels to like finishing the game. I think we've played on novice one time, and then we played on normal the rest of the times, and even at normal, it's incredibly difficult. And I imagine if you played this game a lot, you could get really good at it, hence why they have like the extreme difficulties. But yeah, would not recommend. But anyways, thank you guys so much for checking out this board game review here on Paint Games and Cardboard, and see you guys next time.